Hey everybody, welcome. Tim Shaw. We're at the Black Cat Lounge where the elite meet. Where? Next to the dumpster transfer station. Where else would you be hanging out on a Wednesday night? It's a cold Wednesday night. Here in Western New York, we had our original dusting of snow, the very first really dusting of snow that we had for the year. The lounge only got about 3 inches, so life is good. Life is good. We don't have to worry about such craziness, such insanity. But anyway, we got a great show. You know what? I'm giggling like a little schoolgirl because I got this guest on that I love, and I can't wait. And we're going to talk about. She's an innovator. She's creative. She's oh my god, she blows my mind as is what she does, and I absolutely love. I love her work, and I get a chance. You know what? This is what's great about being me is I get a chance to go and I get a chance to talk to really great people that I admire, and that's something that's really important, I think, in life. And you know what? Let me just really quickly say, you know what? Thank you guys for writing and posting about me being an inspiration, which is kind of scary. I post my inspirational stuff, or if I'm working out, if I'm doing gym time and I show up, basically is because I personally needed it. I personally needed to get out there and I needed to show up and I needed to be that guy that, improved myself. And it's kind of taken on a life of its own, which I'm so thankful for. Really, thank you. And I'm humbled by it. And let's everybody just keep doing it and let's get healthy physically, mentally. Let's go across the board. So, guys, keep it up. You guys, here's the bottom line. I don't inspire you guys. You guys inspire me. That's the way it works. That's just the way it works. So, thank you guys again. And that's enough of that said. I got a couple things. Oh, I got to show you something that I got today. Oh my God. Look at this relic. Look at this relic. My friend Kim gave me this relic, and it was found on the shores near Fort Niagara. And I can tell you that just by the shape of it, this was part of an equestrian, probably the bridle area of the horse, the head, that head whole harness. Look at that. That's gorgeous. She found it years and years and years ago, and she dug it out and she thought of me. That's amazing. Thank you, Kim. This is as you can tell, I need a few more things to fill my shelves behind me. That's what we got. I love doing it. Hey, listen, I want to just broach a real quick, important, serious subject. Alex Matsu has written a really great article about sexual harassment in the paranormal field. And I know everybody that's been in it for years and years and years has seen this in action. So guys, let's, just go and read it and try to support people that are not part of this whole alleged thing that goes on. And I don't want to go deep into it, but I have to say that the article is excellently written, and it really gets to the heart of the matter. So guys, take the time. I have it posted on mine. She has it on her website or her Facebook page. I have it on mine, so take the time to do that. And before I bring on our guest, I gotta just bring this up. Fright Before Christmas by our friend Jeff Belanger. Jeff is a prolific writer, and I got to tell you what, I love this book. It's a hardbound, well-written. It's a quality book, and it goes and covers all of the aspects of the holiday, the pagan holidays and the Romans, and goes up through all the, St. Nicholas, and goes up beyond and talks about all the different, like Krampus, who's like, big mojo now. And really, this book, I picked this one up on Amazon. Guys, do yourself a favor. If you know somebody who is like really into Christmas, this is the book. This is the book you want to buy. I love that book. I really think it's a phenomenal book. And this week I got a chance to work with my good friend, Witch Doctor at 2. He did a class at Dragonfly Art and Soul this past Monday. And he was making real, true mojo bags. Because now the difference between like commercial mojo bags and the true traditional mojo bags, you have different roots and you have different things in the traditional bags. Whereas like the modern ones, you have stones and, different things of that. It's more new age. So it was really great to get together with him and some other students and just work with him. I had already taken the class once before. My wife and I both had, and it was just a great class. So we decided to take it again. It was a great, great class. So if you guys ever get a chance to go and see Utu, if not for voodoo, Dragon Ritual Drummers, he is a voodoo drummer. He's a percussionist. He's amazing. And the music that they make is something that is undescribable. If you want to hear them, they're up on YouTube, Dragon Ritual Drummers. Now we bring in the one and only, our guest tonight. You know what? It was so funny because I got a chance to meet our guest this past August at the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan Paracon. And it was actually crossed because she had met a friend of mine, my good friend Frank Kupka, at a taping of Death Walker. Wait a minute, I think I got something here. Wait a minute, I think we can share something here. Oh, here's our guest in action. Ah, look at that, perfect. And there's of course Nick Groff, and he was just so impressed with what she was talking about, the innovation of the different like REM pods and cross-pollinating the metaphysical with the paranormal. So, and I mean, I've been like that. I've always thought that there's room for both in both camps. And this lady has truly pushed the how can I say this? I mean, I'm just going to say, I'll just put it out there. I mean, she inspires me. She blows my mind. That's the best way. She's part of I love this, Lily Anna Marie Creative, and it's great. I love the name of it. I think it's great. I think it's great. And she's, you know what? She's an interpreter. My brain is shut off because I'm just like a fanboy right now. But she's an entrepreneur. She's a educator. She's a developer. She's a motivational mentor. Oh my God, she has experience in leadership teams and motivation. I love this. And Lauren, you know what? She's also, along with studying, different aspects of spirituality, she has also penned a great book. We're going to talk about it. It's called Dark Moon Light. It's discover your own world with magic, mysticism, and the paranormal. Mind blown. It's something that everybody should think about, and everybody should buy this book. And also, she has collected with, and I'm going to murder her name. I hope this way is proper. Mallory Sawinski, an anthology. It's entitled Dark Village. Wow. These are great books. I love anthologies. I really do, because it gives you a chance to be able to see and read and feel what everybody else is working on. I love that. And you know what? Her life's work is aimed to open hearts. I love that. Change habits and to empower, uplift, and inspire those searching for answers within the unknown. And finally, if that's not enough, Lauren is one of the most dedicated and talented tour guides at Mansfield Reformatory in Ohio. We were just there with Dale Quigley and Iron Mike John. I mean, it was a great experience. It's a great location. People, if you've never been there, it's unique. And I've been through a lot of prisons. Well, after they've closed. We're not talking about disco days. That was 70s. We don't want to talk about that. But it is a unique building, and the vibe in that place is crazy. It's crazy. And of course, Mansfield is famous for what? Do you guys know what? They filmed Shawshank Redemption there, which is a phenomenal movie. If you guys have never seen it, you guys have got to take the time to look at it, to check it out. Now, I hope I don't destroy your name, Lauren. because I have this terrible habit of destroying last names. I really, truly do. So everybody, please, let's welcome to the Black Cat Lounge.
Hellekson.
There you go, Lauren Hellekson.
Oh, you got it.
See, see, because I just turned it on when you said it. I can never. You know what? I have to say that's my man brain kicking in because I murder last names, and I don't know why. And I always feel terrible about it.
Well, you didn't murder this one.
Well, I will.
You'll live to see another day.
I promise. I promise. I'll go and I'll murder it one more time. Thank you, and welcome to the show. I'm so thrilled that you took the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this show.
Now, you are so lucky that I am wearing mascara only on the top because you weren't supposed to make me like emotional before I got on here. So shame on you.
Oops. Come on. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know what?
Stop it.
I'll come right out. And the reason why that I love the fact that you're on the show is because of the fact I get a chance to interview a lot of people. And over the years, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, too many years, I guess, maybe. But there are certain people that are users, which meaning they just use equipment. And there are other people who innovate and work with them. And then there are those that not only do that, but they cross-pollinate so much of the knowledge that's out there, metaphysical, spiritual knowledge, with the paranormal knowledge, the tech that's out there. And that to me is unique because too many people miss that opportunity. And I think that's a huge niche that people have just walked by. So now, Miss Lauren, I'm going to ask you a hard question. No, it's not a hard question at all.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a hard question at all. Because I love backstories. My big thing, Lauren, is I love backstories because everybody knows my backstory, why I got involved in all this. But how did you get involved in it? Because, I always like to say, you look like a normal person.
Thank you.
And most of us aren't really, we put on our masks of normalcy and then we go out there and we do what we do. How did you get involved with this? Because this, to me, it's fascinating. And was there one thing that really pushed you over the edge that really got your eyes open and said, I've got to be able to go and research this stuff?
I think everybody has that that paranormal story, that haunted house or saw a shadow person or anything like that. And I think creating and investigating the paranormal sort of is this amalgamation of stories, I guess. When I was younger, pre teenage years, so 9, 10, at home, my dad was a data processor and he used to bring home computers and we would take them apart because who needs Barbies? Not this girl. I also used to sleep in a box and tell my parents I was practicing to be a cat. So I've always been kind of like a weird bird, I guess. But he really encouraged me to, I have the live up, so I see everybody too. I see all your comments and I love you all. He really encouraged me to not think that taking something apart and learning how it works was a bad thing. So I really got that from him. My mom was a teacher, so I have that teaching itch from her. And then, of course, we lived in a house built in the 1950s, and it had a scary-ass basement. And my dad had one of those cool over-the-shoulder camcorders, and I always wanted to make movies. And so what better movie than to hunt for ghosts in the basement? I never really caught anything at my house, and I actually didn't have my first paranormal experience until I was in my 20s. At my first apartment. But I think a lot of people can also agree in 2004 on the Sci-Fi Channel, when Ghost Hunters premiered, we all kind of had our minds blown open that other people were weird and were just as obsessed with hunting in this way and using technical equipment in that way. At least for me, and I'm like the younger generation. So it was just all of these sort of things that came together to form this need to learn how things work, and discover all the things that you can't see, because when you investigate that stuff, it makes you a lot less scared. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the fun
Right.
of it. It's all the
Right.
fun of it. Another hard question for you. Traditions. Now, I walk a fine line. I walk a very fine line between spiritualism and hoodoo, voodoo, chaos magic, that
Oh
sort of
yeah.
thing. I mean, I do. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people don't think that they can coexist together, but they actually do in the long run. I got to ask you, is there a tradition that you follow? Is and you can say, no, I'm not going to share it, but is there a single tradition or that you follow, or are you eclectic when in your beliefs, or do you feel that metaphysically you're very open to everything?
I, of course, had the Wiccan phase at like
We
14.
all had the Wiccan phase.
Duh. How we discovered it. And now, my personal practice now sort of stemmed from just, again, wanting to know about the unknown, but being okay that sometimes we're not supposed to know everything. And I'm very much about just connecting with the earth because we're here and that's what we're
Hmm.
supposed to be doing, in this timeline too. I was adopted. Me and my sister were both adopted, so we didn't have any, like, we didn't grow up with any sort of strong lineage.
You
Word.
listen. It's catchy. It's catchy. Sorry, it's my fault. It's catchy.
No. So, and we were in a primarily non-denominational household. So I had the Wiccan phase, I had the Christian phase. I'm not saying Christianity is a phase, but it's like learning about that. And then
Hmm.
I owned a yoga studio. I studied yoga in India. I've been to Jerusalem, and like, I did a lot of these
Hmm.
sort of searches, I guess, to just see what I connected with.
Right.
And
Right.
I kind of, I'm going to make my dad watch this because I keep mentioning my dad. I kind of go back again to, the house I grew up in when I was young, and my dad would do lunar photography, and he would take these long exposures of the moon. And I was so fascinated that we had
Wow.
this huge, just like body that seemed godlike when I was little. And, you know, growing up, like bad days or when the parents were fighting or whatever, like the moon, and, so connecting with that spiritually, and then the universe. So I guess the answer is no. 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 No, and yes, all of it.
But that's it. I mean, seriously, you're a lot like me. No to organization, open to everything.
Yeah, no to organization, but it's all energy, and you just have to figure out which lines you can create with hi, hello.
See,
I have the
everybody loves you. What can I tell you? What
I
can
have
I
the
tell you?
Facebook up on here, and I'm like, oh my
Got it. Now, you know what? What brought you to the point where you married? And before we go on, hold on. We talked a little bit of history before the show. Briefly. We're going to talk about why Lauren married the metaphysical and the paranormal. But I want to go and show you guys something, an antique. This is an antique. This is the old paranormal systems.
from the late 1900s.
Yeah, I think so. It was when they first came out with the K2s, and you had to go and you had to
Or
stick the
clickies.
quarter in, in order to
Yep.
keep them going in the switch. And the reason I bought this was because it had that little toggle switch up on top, and of course it's got like 6 AA batteries,
Which I love,
for 90 hours of K2 pleasure.
which is amazing.
And what's neat is inside of this is a Tibetan crystal. There's a Tibetan crystal that was put in there. You could buy them without Tibetan crystals, and you could buy them with Tibetan crystals. And I just thought, wow, what what if it worked? What if? And now that I'm a little bit more aware of working with crystals, because Lauren, I've got something that I need to get off my chest. I was not a crystal guy for many years.
Oh,
Was
I'm still
never.
not a crystal guy.
I really wasn't. I really wasn't until I had to go and had all these surgeries and stuff. And like I would have like amethyst underneath my pillow in
Oh
the
yeah,
hospital and stuff. And I can imagine like when they come in to change the sheets or whatever, and they and they see rocks underneath
like
there. What
this.
the hell's going on? But this is just an example, one of the examples of this beautiful pod that she makes. And what I love about this is, first of all, we'll talk a little bit later about what this individual pod does. But
It's so
look at that,
pretty.
isn't it?
I
Look at
love
that.
it.
And it was funny because I asked her, could she go possibly do a custom order for me? And then she goes, well, what crystals do you want? And I'm thinking, crystals. What crystals do I want? And it was like, well, in my own work, I use quartz, I use citrine, and I use amethyst. And this is what she came up with. And we'll talk about this in a bit.
Oh, I
But
get so emotionally attached to all the pods I make.
oh, I don't blame you, because they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. And you know what? And wait a minute. Here's the best part. Guys, I have her autograph. I made her sign it. I made her sign it because this is how much this means to me. And this is I've actually been playing with it down here in the basement, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But I got to ask you, how did you come to like think about marrying the metaphysical and the paranormal together to come up with this idea? Because other than just like wrapping a crystal and then stuffing it like this has got a copper wire that's just stuffed inside it,
Yeah.
it's nothing fancy, it's just jammed in there. What possessed you to go and first marry the two together and then come up with something to make them so like visually appealing?
So the crystal pod story. A long, long time ago and very far away, a gentleman named Greg Fiketic, husband of Kathy Fiketic. I'm on a team called Tri-C Ghost Hunters, and Greg had broken his little. I wish I had one over here. So essentially it's a converted door alarm that hangs on your door, and oh Frank, I got you, and it's a proximity sensor, and he was like,
Right,
I really
right.
like this. It's small, but it's broken, and I'm like, I could probably fix that, thinking I can just fix everything. So he was like, okay, yeah, take it home, whatever. And I took it apart and I was like, oh shit, I could make these. Like, no offense to whoever made that pod, but a little better. There's like hot glue everywhere and, it's housed in plastic, so it breaks easily. And I was like, I'm just going to toy around with this. And I've always been like the antique child. Guess who? My dad used to take me. I'm going there Saturday. I'm going to show him this whole show. Be like, look how many times I talked about you. He used to take me to auctions, and so I like grew up going to like black hat auctions. And he would let me just kind of peruse around, and it was easy. There were other kids there, so it was just a fun time. And he could go and get all sorts of antiques that would eventually just piss my mom off because he brought home way too many. But he would say, listen, you can pick out one thing. You can pick out one thing. And he would say that because I wouldn't be going to like the $3,000-$4,000 pieces of stuff. I would always go to like the grab boxes, like all the junk, all of
Yes.
the old, like skeleton keys, doorknobs, like old brass, old pieces of wood. Always go for the grab boxes, and that was my favorite. And it'd be like $3. And I always wanted to just like build things with them or like put it on a playhouse or he was always so encouraging of me making things myself. As opposed to not making them myself, but like, building things. And so when I was started to make the pods, I just love, I think what the paranormal was founded on, that gothic Victorian occult spiritualism,
Yes.
mysticism is so fascinating, but more so it's so beautiful. It's so like rich and deep colors and fabrics and wood, and it's such a beautiful aesthetic. And we have can I curse on here? I'm not okay.
You
I'll
can
just
curse as much as listen, listen. God damn it, you can curse whatever you want to say.
okay,
How's
perfect.
that? That's the that's the
I've
way
been
I
doing
work it.
so good. So really, we have really like like not only have we scienced the shit out of the paranormal, but we have like plasticked the shit out of paranormal equipment.
Yes. Yes, we
And
have.
and it's just cool, awesome, fantastic. I use a lot of. I have a nice. Oh yeah, I have a nice camera. I use thermal imaging. Like I have a lot of high tech equipment that I use. But I wanted to just do something that almost could be used as Greg. I just told our story. Like a trigger object. So
Right.
what better way if you go into stone tape theory, kind of those things, than to use natural materials when you're in a space, and especially if you're connecting with it personally, you're pouring your own energy into it. It's able to absorb that and hold on to it. Cleanse it out under the moon. It makes it a hell of a lot easier if you like to cleanse your equipment after. But it also brings back that Victorian Gothic feel,
Yes.
but with shiny lights and buzzy noises. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, this is what I love when we discussed what I need. Here's here's the thing. Okay, I go to I come up to Mansfield. I'm in a prison. That's a whole different atmosphere. I go to, let's say, a tavern, an 1800s tavern.
Mm-hmm.
I find that the shrill buzzing, for whatever reason, sometimes interrupts that energy flow. When we start working with seance, we start working with contact, on a spiritual side, trying to match it up with the paranormal gear, trying to produce EVPs and trying to go and harness static electricity in order to go and feed into that audio. I found that the buzzers are a detriment, which is one of the reasons why I went into that little music box creation, because I find that depending on the energetic personality that you're dealing with, they, even though they don't have ears, but everything emits
It breaks the
frequency.
vibe,
It breaks the vibe on
and
them. Now,
the vibe attracts stuff.
exactly.
Now, I will
So,
say these are kind of shrill, but there's another development coming with these guys.
well,
I do want to talk about that.
let me just
Yours
say
is
that
special.
let me just say that when I asked Lauren to go and design something for me, I said, "Here is what I need," because I am a huge believer in static electricity. I know, because I use a hiker's lightning warning meter, that when it starts to light up, I know that the static electricity is starting to rise. So I know that that's when it's a prime time to start working.
Oh
So
yeah.
I gave poor Lauren these
No, that was
parameters.
so
I need a pod, like a REM pod style. I do need that, but I also need something to go and indicate static electricity, and it can't have any kind of shrill sound to
good.
it.
You're like, but silent.
Silent, silent. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way she's going to come up with this. I am being like so like, this is like my wish list, on for a piece of equipment. And I'm just turning mine on.
No, no noise.
Isn't
Nothing.
this beautiful? Now for static, I don't have any hair, so I
It's
can't.
really sensitive. You could probably do your beard, to be honest. Yeah, it's
No,
super. No.
I don't have enough beard anymore. But here is the LED for static. This is a great piece of gear for me because of the fact that, again, now most of the stuff that I use, I can't use during seance.
Yeah.
Not at all. I can't use anything like that during seance. This is an ultimate piece of gear for me because I can marry the two together, and I can leave this right in the center of a table, a seance table, or wherever we're conducting it, to go and bring out some kind of reaction. This is amazing. And what's nice about this, opposed to this dinosaur, six AA batteries, rechargeable.
Yes.
You don't know how nice that is to have a rechargeable piece of gear. And I love it. And you know what? Again, I'm not selling I'm not doing, listen, I'm not doing an info commercial right now, but I'm just going to say buy
I don't
this
mind.
because this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. We had a question on where they can buy the pods. Before I go and, before we start talking a little bit more about them, where can everybody find them?
So right now, EMF and static is not. It's not available together yet.
Too bad.
I'm so sorry.
Eat your heart out. I'm
Yeah.
special. You're
It's
not.
still,
Thank
yeah,
you.
there's still a lot of testing that it's doing. I'm still honestly testing with it because, and I did discover too that it will trigger if the static is within it's like 12 feet so far. Like it's the static is nice and sensitive. So I do
Yeah.
like that about it. But you can get the amethyst version of the crystal pod from the Ghost Hunter store. Dave Giuliano, his store, he is fantastic. So, hey, Dave. The Ghost Hunter store. And then right now, I have just like a handful of spots left for customs. Oh, look at them. They're so pretty.
They are
And
pretty. I like them. I mean, I really do.
yeah,
You know what? You're right about the whole plastic thing. These are
there's
works of
a
art.
lot of plastic. And
You
not,
know,
I'm not going to lie. They're durable.
and they're
I've
not
dropped
heavy.
yours.
These things are not heavy. I mean,
Yeah.
this is nothing. But here's some more. This one.
Oh
This
my
one.
God. I loved that one so much.
Look at that. That is
Look at
fantastic.
that big chunky baby.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
I saw
she's
that
thick.
when I was like, ooh,
Yeah, she's
ah.
thick. Oh, that was from Michigan. I sold that at Michigan Paracon. That's my. I have a big camper that I take to Michigan.
Don't blame you a bit.
I made that in the camper. Actually, I finished building that in my camper. Yeah,
Oh my God,
and then I
that's
hid
great.
it for the longest time because I wanted to keep it.
Well, that's the problem because when you start creating a nice quality piece of gear, it's going to be gone. I have my friend Joe first started doing the the noise canceling boxes. He started doing the spirit boxes, the filters, and yours truly had to buy his very first one. And it's like, and of course he signed it, it's an unwritten rule, but I had to have it because of the fact that it was innovative, it was different. And I mean, it is something that, you'll never get another one. And it's like this one, you'll never get that one. And that's what I think is so great about your products, because you do make stock ones, but then you're not afraid to go.
They're still all so different from each other, though. I could pull the 2 amethyst pods that I'm going to be shipping out tomorrow. They are totally different. Their color scheme's the same,
right?
but sometimes I'll throw like a bigger amethyst, or they're all so different.
Do you think now? I personally believe that the because I mean, as a Reiki master teacher, I mean, we're taught crystal grids and absentee healing and distance healing. And quartz and amethyst has a lot to do with that type of work.
They're
Do you think that do you think that this is exactly? Do you think this is what amplifies spirit energy in order to enable them to communicate some way to kind of reach through that veil and let us know that they're there?
So that's a good question. I am also a Reiki master. I don't
See?
practice. I don't practice anymore. But well, no, I mean, I guess I do. Like I assist, but I think so. When it comes down to the actual crystals, everybody, when they're wanting to purchase them, they'll be like, "Oh, do all the different crystals mean something different?" And I'm like, it really depends on how deep you get into crystal lore, really. Um, Crystals don't innately have a spiritual attachment to them. It's when the human being infuses that energy, or it's just like a remote control. If you don't have the television for the remote control and it just sits there, it's not actually going to control anything because it's just sitting
Right.
there. It takes a human being having to pick it
It
up,
works in the
point it, and boop.
exactly.
So without a matching TV and without batteries in it, it's not even really a valid piece of equipment. It just looks like a remote control. So when you have something that has, even like, this is like marbled onyx and citrine and quartz. Well, let's do one that doesn't have quartz. So this is like the fool's gold and garnet. If you were to look up the healing properties of both of these stones, both of them are going to have healing somewhere.
Right.
Protection. Sorry,
Right.
excuse me. Protection somewhere. They're going to have some kind of healing, some kind of protection, no matter what, because it's so dependent on what the user, the intention, always, no matter what, magic, crystals, religion, food, it's your intention. And
Exactly. Exactly.
and if you're not into crystals, cool. It's just, it looks cool.
It's almost as works. It works on the same principle as ectoplasm. The way ectoplasm works. It's back course back in the day, it was like all that nasty fluid that comes out of like all the orifices and all that stuff. I mean, okay, we're talking, okay,
My sister just hopped on while you were saying that.
Oh, nice. Nice. It's 1890s explanations, but I mean, I believe it's more of a hybrid. I mean, it's vibrational. So it's a mixture of spirit vibration and human vibration in order to produce whatever a manifestation or phenomena. And I'm a firm believer that I think that these crystals will turn around and amplify what's going on
For
around
sure.
you, brings that law of attraction, brings it right to you. And this is what's so important. People are not using pods in the right manner for the right thing. They're kind of, using these pods as thrill, not as indicators, but something that's like more of a thrill seek, somebody that thrill seeks, it's just like, oh, it just came on. Oh my God. Instead of going, oh, this is an indicator for communication.
Yeah.
Oh, something wants to work with us. Maybe we can work with it here. Maybe we can work with it there. And that's where people are missing the boat on them. And I think that, now everybody's going to have, now everybody, I hate to say this, but now everybody's going to be going and buying these great big crystals and they're going to be gluing them to their pods. That's what that's what we're going to see. Plastic pods with these corkers glued to them,
Just get little quartz points, guys. Just
No. Listen, we're going to do it. We're listen. Bigger is better. or just go get a hold of the real thing, guys. Get a hold of the real thing. Hey, let's talk about your books. You're an author. I got to tell you, you know what? I'm impressed. I got to tell you what, I'm impressed by you because you have so many hats that you wear. And again, innovator, you're so creative. You know what? You inspire people. I mean, and you're always busy. You're always out there working. You're out there. And listen, I'm hoping that next year that you get invited all over the place. But let's, I can understand. I can see now, knowing you, how all of this evolved, because you've written a great book, and we're going to put it up there. Dark Moon. There it is. And discovering your world with magic, mysticism, and the paranormal. I can understand. Now, seriously, I can understand how you evolved into building from that whole concept. When you sat down to write that, did you think that it was going to be accepted? Because let me tell you, I've in talks, I've brought that up, and both the spiritualist community and the paranormal community, somehow they just didn't resonate well with it. It was either it's sort of like, if you guys that are out there in the crypto communities, it's like the crypto community, the UFO community, and the paranormal community. They should all be on the same page, but they're not. Everybody's fractionated. Did you
Fractionated. I like that
fractionated?
word.
That's the only word. That's the only description I can use for fractionated. Hey, I make up my own words. You can be an
No,
author.
and
You can make up.
I want to use
You
that
can make
word.
your own words
It's
up.
incredible.
But did you think when you wrote that book that you would be so far ahead of the curve?
Oh, geez. Well, I can't let my ego. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can let your ego show.
I am going to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
When in regards to if I thought it was going to be accepted, if I thought people were going to like it, and this goes out to any writer, didn't give a fuck.
You have to.
And I'll
That's
tell you why.
exactly it.
And I'll tell you why. Because if I was writing for everybody else, then it wouldn't have been what happened. Like it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been this.
Right.
So I essentially wrote
Mm-hmm.
from a point of view of what did I need when I was trying to figure out everything. And how do I feel about, so I'm very much like, there is a time and a place with your spirituality being involved in your paranormal investigation.
Exactly. It should be. Or
Yes.
it should be.
Yeah, there's a time and a place. I am like witchy as shit and spirit. I mean, I'm talking, you like fart and I'm like, is it a message from the universe? Or was
it's a message, all right.
You know what I mean? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, let's look at the spiritual side first, maybe, and then we'll also make sure that we bring in the real side too. But in paranormal investigation, I'm very much like data first, and I'm not a witch right now. If I need to be, when I'm clearing my equipment, sometimes like before Parapsychon at the Ohio State Reformatory, Kathy and I have like cleansed around the area, and then it's like, but if I'm talking about the paranormal, I don't clear spaces, I don't cleanse spaces unless a client asks me to. While I'm collecting data, I'm purely a paranormal investigator.
And by the way, that is our lovely Lauren.
Oh, that's so cute. And I will say, because you had mentioned, I'm not a tour guide yet.
Oh.
No, that's okay. I've been a volunteer now going on 2 years, but hopefully I will be training to do some flashlight tours and stuff too. So the Ohio State Reformatory, especially Ohio State Reformatory and Parapsychon, which is another thing about this book, has been such a huge inspiration of showing me how big and wide and far the paranormal community is, because I was mainly just a solo. I didn't know that you could go to a public hunt somewhere. Like, I didn't know these things. I didn't know that you could rent out a place. I was just breaking into the houses, in the town over that nobody lived in. No, that nobody lived in. Like the broken down.
You got permission from the owners to go into the house when there's nobody there. Let's just put it right out there, Lauren.
So I would
That's
get permission
the way we did it
from the city to go into these manufacturing places that, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know this was out there. Yeah. And then I joined Tri-C and my whole world broke open, and Greg Fiketic has a couple of books and stuff. And I was like, when I'm famous, can I be a Parapsychon? He's like, gotta write a book first. And I was like, fucking bet. And then that's like encouraged me to sit down. And I was like, I'm going to write something from the perspective of somebody who was like me 10, 15 years ago.
Because there was nothing like that. And very few books are like that. Very, very few. And I've read everybody's book. And everybody that has been on TV that has written a book, I've read their stuff. The closest that anybody comes, of course, is Chip Coffey, a friend of mine, and he, I mean, he kind of gets close to it. He skirts it just a little bit. And people just don't realize that you can't have one without the other. You really can't.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand people that are just like paranormal and they have no spiritual practice in any way, shape, or form.
I
Even like a little, even just a little, something little.
well, I know a lot of atheists. I know a lot of atheists that you have two different types of atheists. You got the atheist who's the amazing Randy type of atheist that goes out there and is just wants to stomp on everybody. But then you really have the atheists that I respect, like Calvin von Crush. He's a great oddities collector, and where he is like, and Joe Nichols. Joe Nichols is like one of the biggest skeptics in the world. But Joe Nichols and Calvin both told me, if I witness something that I can't explain, that I personally can't explain, I just don't understand, you know what? I'm open enough to accept it until such a time that it's explained.
Yes.
And that to me was amazing. And people don't get that. People, you do need that spirituality. I shouldn't say spirituality. You need some kind of belief system. You need a little bit.
It's even if you don't have a spiritual practice or a belief or anything, at the very least, and this talks about like ways that you don't have to believe in you don't have to believe in shit, but it's like
exactly
meditation's non-denominational, it's secular.
Exactly.
You can meditate, that's a practice. Just being open to the idea of things, that's a practice. Shit, just believing the freaking earth is round and that there's a huge universe and multiple universes in the fucking ethos is
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's something that's not tangible that you
science is a belief system.
Hell yeah, it's always changing, and if it's not,
exactly,
it's not science.
This is what killed me, because spiritualism is always getting stomped on, but yet they were one of the first ones to come out with everything's vibrational. Let's talk about Native American spirituality. Everything's alive. If we start breaking it down to its simplest denomination.
Oh, absolutely. Everything's moving.
Exactly. And it's constantly moving. So, I mean, I always say that a lot of these belief systems, they weren't around, but yet they were ahead of their time until science actually proved them. And I think that we're in that time right now. People like yourself who are innovators, pushing the envelope. And you know what kills me is everybody thinks that it's got to be that great big push. It doesn't. Everybody's just got to do a little tap.
Yep.
If you do a little tap, you're pushing the envelope out a little bit further for the next person to push it out a little bit further until we can all get together. And all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute. This is something that happens. This is something
hundreds of years from now. We're just laying the groundwork.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And people,
100%.
But again, I don't want to go into paranormal investigators because I hate to say that so many of them only learn what they can see on TV. And I always remember I had a conversation with Johnny Zaffis one time, probably getting stuck in the Detroit airport, guys, just to let you guys know where I always talk to Johnny. And we talked about that subject, about how most investigators only learn what they see on TV. And
that's it. Like, that's not what introduces them. That's just, that's
exactly. That's their whole range of scope.
Yeah.
And being a veteran of reality TV, I can tell you that religion is really not something that they want to push. And I remember Johnny being so thankful for the second year where they were allowing him to go and show how he was cleansing articles and, stuff of that nature, because they finally let go a little bit, so that's, and this is why that book is so important. People don't realize it. People will see that book and like, I don't know. They're kind of afraid.
Witchcraft.
Well, that's my whole life lately, but that's
guys. I mean, antibiotics were witchcraft at one point.
Oh my God, yeah. Washing was witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
You know, that's
Not listening to your husband, witchcraft.
I say that all the time. I just said that to my wife earlier. Oh, no, I know I didn't. My lovely wife is listening in.
You're like,
No, I
careful.
didn't, honey.
I'll
No,
teach her some
no.
witchcraft.
Yep. Listen, my wife doesn't need to learn any kind of
All
witchcraft.
right.
She come, they might have been Roman Catholics, but they were
Oh my
that type of Roman Catholic.
God. Dude, this says some of my favorite witches is like the Catholic Church. I mention it in
Oh my
here.
God, yeah.
Oh
Oh my
my
God, yeah.
Fanta. You want to talk about witchy? Go to a mass.
Well, I'll never forget the absolute best lecture I ever sat through was by a former Jesuit theologian from Georgetown University that compared spiritualism with Catholicism. And
Dude,
outside of the division or the divinity of Jesus Christ,
witch.
the names are changed, but they're all the same.
Oh
Bilocation,
yeah.
all the absentee healing, spontaneous healing through relics, blah blah blah. It's amazing, and people don't get that. People don't get that. So that book that
Body
you
drinking
wrote
blood.
is. But again, when you wrote that book, did you think that you were going to be like ahead of the game? Because I mean, you are definitely ahead of the game on that.
No. No, I really honestly just I wrote it for the people at that I used to have at my studio, the people that were just like, I don't know how to meditate, the people that are like, I feel lost, the people that are like, I don't
Right.
connect with religion, can you help? Or the people that are like, I'm in paranormal investigation, but what's all this cleansing stuff? I don't understand. Or and a lot of it is like attachments and just people being afraid of things like that. And it's,
Oh, people are
I've
always
always
afraid
been,
of it.
yeah, I know. I've always been somebody who just, and it hasn't always been accepted kindly because
No, it never will.
I've had people in my past say like I'm more worried about people liking me or wanting to be my friend than anything else, but it's always been I want people to feel loved and seen and accepted, and I want them to feel like they could fucking kick everybody's ass who was ever seen
Exactly.
to them.
That's exactly it.
And that's kind of what a lot of this is. Like
That's what people don't
you're the
get
main
that. People
character.
don't get that because of the fact that this book is an inspiration. And that's why I really want people, again, along with Jeff's book, you guys want to go and buy each other a phenomenal, phenomenal little Christmas
And
gift?
both together.
Wait a minute. It's right there. Even buy yourself a stocking stuffer right there. I'm just telling you. There it goes.
There's
Now,
also coloring pages if you like to color.
oh, great. Please, I'm teaching myself how to hand color photographs right now.
There's
So that's
also spells.
listen, I have enough trouble staying within the lines with Crayolas. Okay. I
We
don't know
like
if I
that
can,
though.
I don't
There's
know if
some
I
like
can do that or not.
there's some like
Let
sigils and stuff,
Oh
and
my God. Let's talk about your other book quickly. Let's talk about the other book
this
quickly.
one's scary.
There we go.
It's spooky. This one is a fiction. It's a fiction anthology. Mallory and Carly are two friends of mine, and they opened up submissions to this, and I was like, "Can I write fiction? Fuck it!" And so I wrote.
I love you, kid.
I wrote a fiction story about witchcraft and paranormal investigating gone wrong.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's got like twists and turns, and it's fun.
But things are great. Hey, we got a few minutes now, kiddo.
I told you it was going to feel like 5 minutes.
It feels like 3 minutes. Are you kidding me or what? Before we get crazy, how can people buy your books, get in touch with you about pods? Where are you going to be? Who are you hanging out with? And most importantly, what's your favorite drink of choice? I know you don't have to answer the last one, but
Kombucha. I
I
love me a kombucha mocktail. That's what I like.
okay.
Straight edge.
We'll have to remember that.
You can go to my website, laurenhauntz.com, and that links you to this website that's scrolling on the screen. Just Lauren Hauntz is shorter, but Liliana Marie Creative. I'm also Lauren Hauntz on all social media, Instagram, TikTok. My website is where really you can find these books on the website. You can find where I'm going to be on the website. My next stop is hanging out with my friend Nick Simmons and probably lots of other people, and Kathy Fiketic at 28 Days Haunted and Aaron Segers. And the 28 Days Haunted cast is all going to be at the Bell Mansion, and that is my next stop, I believe. Yeah, this is December. I'm pretty sure that's the next place I'm going to be. And then, but yeah, all of my locations are going to be on my website of where I'm going to be, where you can buy crystal pods. I always have vendor show specials on my crystal pods. So you go there, you can get them a little bit cheaper. Or you can get it custom, and you can get it like, look at this shit. It's laser engraved. Let's be real, guys. It's beautiful.
One last question, and I always save this. This is the kicker. This is the kicker question. I always save these for the end. Okay, we live our life, right? Okay, we do live our life.
Living it.
We die. What do you want in your tombstone? What epitaph do you want on your tombstone?
Finally, she shut up.
I can't top that one. I've got nothing after that one, Lauren. That was quick. That was great. Oh my God, that was great. Now I'll be giggling about that one for a while.
Except I won't.
Never. That's all right. Hey, I've got a short list of people I'm visiting, but that's another story. And I'll have it on my desk. When I go, people will find it on my desk.
Perfect.
And they'll be like,
we'll go after them.
They'll be like, this great. I missed it. Good. He ain't going to bother me at 3 a.m. Lauren, thank you for being a guest on the show. I appreciate it. This was so great. Again, this means so much to me. This is such a work of art. It's absolutely beautiful. I love how it's put together. I love the look of it. It's light. It's rechargeable. And
if you don't want it, you can give it back.
Oh no, those days are done. Oh no, I've already put this in my cabinet already, and I had some static interaction. So just to let you know that they were in one of my cabinets that I have all my unique. I don't like to say haunted. It's a little craziness. They kind of like it, but this is a phenomenal piece of gear. This is a unbelievably well-built, well-made piece. And if you are looking for something that marries both metaphysical and the paranormal together, this is what you want. This piece right here. And I can't say enough of it. Thank you so much. Listen, stay on the line. I want to thank you properly off the air. I appreciate you being there, coming on the show. And best of all, really quickly, yours truly didn't plan on doing a channel at Mansfield. Yours truly did not plan on doing this channel, and it just sort of happened. And Lauren came up there, and she's lugging.
I had a Van de Graaff machine.
Oh my God! And I come out of like the channel, and I look, and I'm seeing like the spark ones. It was. I'm thinking to myself, what am I? Did I just transport myself into like, into the horror of Frankenstein, one of these black and white movies? It was great. So, Lauren, hold tight, and we'll be right back.
Thank you,
guys. Lauren is a true delight. She's a true innovator. She's creative, and she really is someone who works from the heart. I absolutely adore the work that she does. And guys, again, you know what? Just be kind. Just go out there and be kind. That's all. I'm not asking you to do a lot. Just be kind. And if you really want to feel better with your life, show up. I love when the Buddhists all say, wake up. Wake up. See what's going on around you. Become alive. This is Tim Shaw, and you've been listening to What Else? Where Else? The Black Cat Lounge here. Where else? My Facebook Live. We're hanging out. See you next week. It's where the elite meet next to what? The transfer station. Ciao, babies. Be good. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.